let's look at another function. I'm just going to remain around the sales ledger area. Again, just back to the utilities. We have an option down here called the sales transaction purge. You'll probably notice the reason why we have some of these functions under the utilities because they are sort of fairly critical and can be dangerous if left in the greater environment. So that's why we put them under the utilities, and hopefully that's sort of restricted down. So you've just got to be very careful who you give access to some of these, because some of these options can actually do considerable damage if not controlled. So we just had a look at the sales account code updater. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at this one called Sales Transaction Purge. So I'm just going to load the screen on this one, and immediately what you are is presented with all the accounts you've got, and you can see at the top here we've got an end-to-date range. So at the moment it's looking at the oldest date that I've got on my sales ledger here, and looking up to the current date, in this example 31st of December 2022. Now, just let me give you a little bit of background on what this will actually do for you. So I'm sure majority of, or some of you out there will have had the instance where you've got an account that may cease trading, gone bump, and you've ended up with these old transactions on your sales ledger, and they've just been there forever and a day. You've never really known what to do with them. So what you can actually do here is purge these old accounts. So again, you've got to be very careful how you actually choose this. So if you were to load this, like I say, we'll look at the oldest transaction that you've got, take you right up to the current date, and then present you with those values. If I was to change the dates here, then that list would change considerably depending on the transactions that I've got. But you will see all those accounts that you've got where we've got transactions that are on them. Now, when it purges, obviously what you want to do, you want to make sure that what it's going to do is going to make the adjustment on your sales ledger, but also there's your nominal ledger which will need to be adjusted. So just before I move on and run that particular function, just show you under the utilities, you have adjustment names, and I've created a name called Purge, and that will be mandatory if you need to run that option. So if you have this installed, then it's imperative that you create the adjustment mode. Otherwise, if that doesn't exist, you won't be able to use that function. It will actually warn you that you do need to create Purge. So I've created Purge, and I've actually posted over to this nominal account code here, agreed write-offs. So let's just go back to utilities again. Let's choose the sales transaction purge. Again, just remember, obviously mentioned about the dates. The other option you've got down here is include disputed invoices. Now, some of you may use that function, some of you may not. And obviously that's the one that you can do via the allocations. It's where you can put invoices in dispute. So you've got a dispute with the client. So you may have some old transaction there where you've got it in dispute. So what you can do is tick that option. And again, you briefly just saw that screen change. So it will include any disputed invoices you've got. So it's worthwhile bearing that in mind depending on what it is that you're going to be purging, or which account you're going to be purging. What I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to purge this one, which is Bartow Williams. You'll notice over on the right hand side, the default is always selected to no. So even if I clicked OK on this, this won't go away and just update unless I tell it which account that I want to purge. One thing that you can do multiple accounts. So if you've got a few, rather than just saying, well, it's just one account I've got, because I might have 4 or 5 where I want to do this particular tidy up. So what I can actually do is select those accounts that I want to do. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to select Bartow Williams. Just go down to my action button here, choose select, and what you'll see is a yes against that particular line, and also just down at the bottom you'll see a running total. Let's just choose another one. So we'll choose Maxwell Auto Supplies. Just going to select that again. And again, if you look there, the value is increased and the number of transactions that's going to be affected will be 3. I can deselect. So if I deselect that, and that has now reduced that value again. So all I'm going to do is just do the Bartow Williams one now. So if I click OK, you've selected one account to purge and one transaction do you wish to continue. So again, obviously it's just prompting you, just make absolutely sure what it is that you are about to do and you're happy to proceed with that. So if we say yes, and it's now updated one record added and one transaction has been matched. So let's click OK. Let me just load that again. Let's just have a look at the sales transaction purge, and you can see now that Bartow Williams is not there. Let's go and have a look at the account. Let's have a look at the effect that it's actually made on the account. Bartow. Just put bar in. You've got Bartow Williams. Remember, I did have a balance on there, but now that has gone down to 0, which was what I actually wanted to happen. So let's just have a look at the transactions that I've got. And you can see here, I actually had a balance brought forward from the 1st of October 2021. And I've now done that adjustment. And you can see there, the adjustment has been made. The reference one is the system, because I've done that. And the reference is also purged. So you can see now that it's actually matched up against that. So the corresponding entry, you will see that within your nominal ledger. Great utility just to tidy up all those little loose ends that you've had on your debtors list for quite a number of years.